Hey everyone, I picked up this 1,000-pound garden cart from Harbor Freight, and I thought I'd just do a quick install of it and take you guys through putting it together. If there's anything that is complicated about that process, I'll try to focus on that. I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward, putting this thing together. And then just quick review once I have it all put together. I paid about $100 for it, again at Harbor Freight, and I'll put the link in the comments or the description section below.
All right, so it comes with a simple set of instructions, which looks pretty straightforward. Some hardware. I made sure all the parts are here, and I flipped the mesh bed over, and I'm gonna start putting this together. So per the instruction, take this piece, set it on the frame as it shows on the instructions. And then for putting these on, you want to grab out of the little kit of parts one of these nuts and one of these washers. I'm not going to show you how I put it on, but washer goes on first, then you put on the nut, and then it is a 13mm socket that I'll use to tighten that down. All right, so I snug those down, just hand tight. You don't have to go crazy with them. They're locking nuts. Next step is I set this bar. This is a separate piece here, this crossbar, right on top of these two arms. And we're going to take this bolt and nut combo, and we're going to use two of those. And the only thing to remember here is the screw comes up from the bottom. So we're going to bring it up this way. Let's see if I can do it while I'm like so. And then I'll put the washer on, I'll put the nut on and tighten it down. I'll do the same thing over here, right there. So it was very helpful to have two socket sets for this. On the top, I used the same socket as we used for down here. That was a 13mm socket head, so I just put that on there, and then I grabbed another socket. The top of the bolt itself, which is on the bottom side, that was a 12mm. So I just put that on the bottom, put the 13mm socket on the top, and just cranked it down. And I'm guessing I want to keep this as square as possible, so I tried to just make it, a perfect 90 degree at these corners. So we're going to put two wheels on now. Just the only thing to note is the side with the air valve goes out. So this goes in. So on this side, it will just go in like so. And then I will see what's next. So per the instruction, we just got to put a washer and a nut on here. That is this washer and this nut, they call it an acorn nut. So washer goes on first, and then we're going to tighten on this acorn nut. So this was a little weird. I put the acorn washer on, which starts out looking like that, and it's a 19mm socket, so I thought you needed to tighten this down. So the washer goes on first and then the acorn washer, but when I tightened it down, apparently this is longer than the end of the acorn washer, and that came off. So I guess maybe you just hand tighten it or just pop the end of the acorn washer off. I don't know, but I guess it doesn't really matter to me. I don't care if the bolt is showing, but that was weird. So if you have any thoughts on that, leave me a comment. All right, so just wanted to point out a few things. So the next step is to put this bracket on. This is connects to the handle, and so the bottom part sets on this little piece here, and then it calls for a washer and this cotter pin. The cotter pin was in here, and the washer was the only smaller washer with these ones in this pack. Not super intuitive. So just wanted to point that out. And then these guys are used for here and here. Same way we installed these. Come up through the bottom, put the washer on and the nut. So my bad. We just wanted to put this screw and nut in. This one stays open. That's part of the next step, so my bad. But yeah, for this, it's a 13mm socket on the top on this nut, and then a 12 millimeter socket on the bolt head on the bottom, just like before. Okay, so these instructions really aren't super good, and they're very tiny pictures that are hard to see. So this one bolt and nut combo, apparently in the section where they're all at, which is here, there's some, I think the majority of them are the same size, which is 15 millimeter, and then you gotta look out because there's one that's 20. So the longer one goes here, and what we're gonna do is connect this bar. It's gonna sit up underneath, and then we're gonna run the longer screw up from the bottom through this hole, and then we'll put the washer and nut on. And by the way, they were all on this screw, so they come with a, it's the bolt, the washer, and the nut all put together. So you just gotta look out for this one longer one. It's 20 millimeters. So the next part is putting the handle on. So I just laid it out. It comes with this coupling piece, which can go either direction, just slides over. There's a couple of holes here, and I think what I'm gonna do is just fit it in there and try to line it up. And then the screw that you're gonna use is the only long one provided. It's this one. I'm gonna look at it. Hopefully it's pretty easy to get this lined up and the screw to go through. All right, so that was really easy actually. I just kind of moved it in here and like started the screw in and then just sort of jiggled it around and it just went right through. So I'm gonna put the washer and the nut on this side and then we'll move on. All right, so now that end seems to be done. I move down to this end. I put this on. I don't think it really matters which way it goes. Looks like it's either direction. And then this bar fits right up underneath here. So I'll have to put a bolt on there. It's the same, these washers and these nuts, I believe, for all of these. I'll double check that and let you know if that's true. And then a 13 millimeter socket, so I'm gonna assemble that. So that was right, it was all the same washer and nut. Here, underneath here, and here. So those are all tightened down. And the last thing is just to put the wheels on just like we did before. And I guess we're just gonna snug down those acorn nuts, but take another look at it doing these two. All right, so what I did is I put the washer it calls for, and then there were a couple washers that I didn't use. They were in this right here, these little split washers. I threw one of those on after the regular washer and then the acorn nut, and I just snugged it down with the socket, which is a 19 millimeter, and it was fine. Wheels spin fine, it's on tight. So that's what I did. Not sure if that's right or not, but seemed to work for me.
So I was just doing one last look at everything, and I realized I didn't bend the cotter pin. So this is that cotter pin I had put in before. I just forgot to bend it so it doesn't come out. So see if I can do this well. Bad camera work here. So it's really just you gotta get an angle on it and bend it. Let me see if I can do it without holding the camera. Just trying to make sure that thing doesn't slide out. All right, so you can see I just, not my best work ever, but it's not coming out. You're just trying to make sure it doesn't slide through like this, you know. So you can bend it more, you can bend it less. It's just as long as it doesn't come out.
All right, so I flipped it over and it's done. So I guess now I have to give it a little bit of a use, but it seems to be pretty sturdy. Rolls nice. The platform's bigger. I had a smaller one that wasn't cutting it. It's supposed to be rated for 1,000 pounds, and I'll figure out if it is, because I'm gonna be hauling pier sections up in northern Wisconsin with it. So I'm gonna be setting a bunch of sections of pier on this to help me roll it from one place to another. So I will report back if I have any issues. Otherwise, thanks for watching.